Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Blackshirt Breakdown. My name is Steve Marik. I'm a staff writer at Inside Nebraska, and he is Jay Foreman, our NFL veteran and former Nebraska Blackshirt. Jay, this is a special edition of the Blackshirt Breakdown. We do a lot of these to break down Nebraska's recruits, but none of them are going to reach the hype, the everything that is about to come down with Nebraska's fan base because it's on Dylan Raiola, the
Right.
former Ohio State commit, the former Georgia Bulldog commit. He is now a Nebraska Cornhusker commit. Jay,
Right.
this has been a wild ride for recruit Nicks, people who love recruiting, been following along with this. It's been a long process. And, you know, what was once lost is not lost anymore with Dylan
Right.
Raiola and the Husker fans. Just what are your overall thoughts on this, his whole recruiting journey? Dominic Raiola, Dylan Raiola, the Raiola family, the Huskers. Just what are your opinions on Dylan Raiola being a Husker?
Well, obviously it's a good surprise, but I'm not too surprised because I really felt, when Nebraska beat Northwestern that night, 56-7. I think probably his sophomore year.
Mm-hmm.
He was. I would, if you would ask me, I'd say he's 99.9% coming to Nebraska, even though it wasn't anything verbal or like publicly or anything. And I know him pretty well. I know Dom pretty well. He's one of my good friends. So,
Yep.
um, and then things happen and some people drop the ball and I want to get then I think when Mickey took over, I think you pumped a little bit of life back into it, but then obviously you could foreshadow maybe a coaching change, and then I think Coach Rhule and those guys pumped a lot more life into it. And then in that meantime, he had committed and decommitted from Ohio State from a I guess from my take or from my understanding, a broken, they broke their word, or Ohio State did. And so then obviously Georgia, two-time national champ. Um, and they, there wasn't any, downfall of, or downside of committing to Georgia. But, the fact that I think that he truly and his family is so entrenched at Nebraska, and it goes beyond, his uncle being the offensive line coach, but, his dad, obviously, we were us playing together, being part of special times and what it means to their family. And
Mm-hmm.
when they came here, they felt at home, even, way back in the day. And I think every single time people embraced them. So, I think as the season went on, and when you have a dad that's played in the NFL, and it can watch the game from a different perspective and see some things that possibly the normal fan or normal, evaluator doesn't see, you see progress. And then when you start to look at the whole package and look at, obviously short term, which would be his college career, NFL, potentially if things go right, and then after, Nebraska has as much or in a lot of ways more to offer than a lot of people. So, I think it's just not a football decision. I think it's what's the best for his, his son and family decision, and that's why Nebraska was able to get back into it. But I think, when you look at what Nebraska's done, even with Nelson, tight end from
Yep.
Nebraska, being the number one and number two, obviously
Mm-hmm.
that is on his radar. And then you get Bricks, I think a couple weeks ago, give or take,
Yep.
verbal, and then you had some guys come back and not a lot of turnover. Dylan's a smart kid and he watches that, so he kind of evaluates. Then obviously, he already had Malachi Coleman. Some of those guys make some noise this year, so he feels like he can come in and compete and earn a spot and then go from there. So I think it's it's one of the, probably, if I look back on it, Nebraska history is probably like the same feeling of when Nebraska got Tommy Frazier. There's been some other guys that have been kind of high, but when you watch Dylan, what we're about to watch, it's a different type of tape that you've watched. And this is not taking anything away from Taylor Martinez, Adrian Martinez, um, any of those type of quarterbacks, Beck and all those guys are supposed to be highly touted. I mean, this guy is he's a legit big kid, big strong kid,
Mm-hmm.
powerful in the pocket, knows the game, grew up around the pro game, and so he's going to bring a lot of intangibles that you don't get in star rankings.
Just like Tommy Frazier was back in the day, Dylan Raiola is a massive recruit, one of the biggest that Nebraska has ever signed. So Rivals has him as number 2 nationally overall and the top quarterback, 5-star talent, obviously. So, when you're looking at Dylan Raiola, 3 years as a starter, he played his sophomore year, freshman and sophomore years in Texas, his junior year in Arizona, and then his senior year at Buford, Georgia, playing on a really, really talented team. What I really like looking at the numbers with Dylan J is his completion percentage and the way he takes care of the ball. He has a career 64% complete. He has a 64% career completion percentage. He has thrown 88 career touchdowns in his prep career to 11 interceptions. And then his senior year at Buford, 63% completion percentage for a little over 2,500 yards, 34 touchdowns. And here, this one interception. So you really love that. You mentioned his frame, 6'3", around 220 pounds already. So that's college ready right now. So that's awesome. And, we're going to be looking at some plays here. We have six plays to break down here. And before we get into them, just talk about them a little bit. The first three that we are going to be breaking down are some touchdown passes. The next two are some scrambling plays, because, you can look at Dylan Raiola, see the arm talent, the passing talent. Not much is talked about his mobility. And although I don't think, you're going to be calling a lot of design quarterback runs for Dylan Raiola, it doesn't mean he's slow. It doesn't mean he can't run. He's mobile enough for sure. And then with that sixth and last play, it's just a cool play, and we'll show you about it. But yeah, so let's get into it, Jay. First things first, this is a 64-yard touchdown pass from Dylan. And what I really like about this one is how far the ball actually travels through the air. I'm counting, this is a 64-yard touchdown. I'm counting the ball is going through the air 53 yards. So 53 air yards. So Jay, take it away from us. Take it away to us. This is just, the play action, the toss, everything about this. This is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it starts in the pistol formation, but the thing that you see right out the get-go is what we talked about other quarterbacks, that play for Nebraska is footwork and his fundamentals are impeccable, right, at this age. So obviously he's had some next level training. Look how quick he's able to get into his drop, right? And look at the efficiency of his footwork, right? He's right back in there so he can, fairly evaluate the whole field, and he's under pressure. And the good thing about it on that play action pass, he's able to throw guys open. Now they have really good receivers. Yep. But he's able to throw it to a spot to where the receiver can break through at the very end, and it's the accuracy on the deep ball versus, the strength. There's plenty of guys that can throw it far, right? But when can you throw it accurately, and can you throw it to where you can get run after the catch? And that's where when you talk about his completion percentage, those traits of being accurate, you don't lose those. It's harder to try to teach somebody to be accurate versus accuracy, taking away accuracy. And so the thing about it, with him, he's coming in and knowing where to throw it, and he knows the coverages of the defense, and he's able to stand strong in there in the pocket. Look, he's about to stand in there and take a hit, and he's got his shoulders squared to downfield and able to read the defense, and you wonder why, right? Look how quick he's into it right now. He has his pre-snap read, probably obviously during the play read right here, and look how quick he's able to read this coverage right here based on obviously knowing the formation. He gets around, gets his hips turned, obviously shoulders, able to read the safeties. And, obviously they're reading obviously the corner and then the hash safety on this post route here. And he threw nowhere to throw it. Look, he threw it from one hash, right? The far hash, and he's going to throw it right in the middle of the hashes, and that's where you want it. And so you want to split the safeties on it. And that's exactly what they were able to do, or he was able to do. And so again, it's next level talent, next level training, but it's even better execution. And these are, you're not going to see any highlights where, they're not putting, bad plays on huddle, but what you're looking at for the things that are, I call it transferable to quickly onto a Big Ten stage. And this is what he's able to do. And you see this play right here, right? When he's breaking the pocket, this is one thing that you have to look when he's able to feel the pressure, his pocket awareness, right? Escapability. Right, you're looking right here. He's getting it. He's already in the pistol formation. Not really a play action, but you got the play action right here. And he's doing this. He's not under a lot of pressure, but what people don't understand, he's just escaping the pocket to the right to manipulate the defense. Look at his shoulders. He is not escaping the pocket to run. Yes. He's doing it kind of, I was saying, like Russell Wilson when he was really, really humming up there in Seattle, escaping the pocket to pass on the run. Again, another 50-some yards in the air. But again, look at the accuracy right there from the right hash into the middle of the hashes. So what that tells you is, they have good receivers, but this is an accuracy throw right here. This is a throw that even if they had a different coverage and a other field safety was trying to come over, it has enough velocity, obviously the trajectory, and then obviously the accuracy to where you're able to split the safeties right there. So when you think about, the different route trees that you possibly could have in Nebraska, these are plays right here that you can say, okay, I can see us running this play against this certain defense in the Big Ten, and he has the ability to throw it. So when you think about the speed just off the top of Doss, Malachi Coleman, obviously Jalen Lloyd, these are plays that are obviously, probably making Marcus Satterfield real happy, but he has an underneath accuracy as well because of the ability to throw the ball in and out of the pocket and under duress.
Yeah, absolutely. And this one I think was 50 air yards on a 63-yard touchdown pass. So that's really cool. And then this one, this is the lone example from under center that we're gonna have.
Yeah.
But still, it's a hard play action fake thrown over the top of defense.
Yeah, well, here, I mean, look, you want to be able to be flexible here, right? Right.
Mm-hmm.
Again, look at the footwork, right? Look
Yeah.
at him, right? Quick steps and able to just launch it in there. And the receiver makes a really good play. Look how quick he's able to get into it, right? It's like an outside zone. You got a little bit, we used to call it smoke motion right here, just kind of just window dressing, right? Because the guy's shoulders isn't even turned, but look what he's doing. Good ball fake. So you guys good ball handling skills, right?
Yep.
You talk about not turning the ball over. It starts with your fundamentals, your footwork, knowing the plays, but then also the ability to ball handle, and that's handle the ball. And he laid into this one right here, and he out through the coverage. And again, he was a little bit probably a little bit wider, but it was hash to hash, and so they allowed this receiver to run underneath it, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so it's just an extended version of what I used to call the Colt route, right, where you're running a deep over, and he could even throw it even with accuracy to the numbers, and so he's able to throw the ball at different launch angles and accuracy and
Yep.
trajectory based on his experience. And you got to think, I said he grew up in a pro locker room. You got to think he had the likes of Matthew Stafford,
Yeah.
that played behind his dad for, well over a decade. So he was able to be exposed to quarterback training, quarterback thinking at a very young age. And so that's what you're seeing right here. You're seeing a kind of a, you know, well ahead of I wouldn't say next generation because I don't want to put that much pressure on him, but he's the next level type of quarterback and thinking and the way he's going about the game. And so when you think about his potential to to come in there and compete and really put some people on notice for his ability just to think through the game, but then to execute based on the coverages that he's been able to see and the route tree that he's been able to use in high school.
We're showing all these deep shots, but yeah, you're right, Jay. It's just not the deep shots with him. It's the underneath routes. It's the shallow crosses that he can hit. And, like you said, with the arm angles, with some of the shorter stuff, the more intermediate stuff, if he's under pressure, he's shown that he can drop the elbow and still be accurate when with those different arm slots that we've seen across football. That number 15, the arm sleeve, it kind of resembles Patrick Mahomes. Sometimes the way he kind of moves
Right.
around and tries to extend plays. But let's, I wanted to add some of these running examples here from Dylan because when you look at Dylan Raiola, you don't really, look at he's a running quarterback, but he's mobile enough, like we said, Jay. So his pocket awareness, I think, is really good. The way he maneuvers around the
Right.
pocket when it's kind of collapsing on him, I think is really good too. And so these are a couple examples. These next two, this is going to be a 21-yard touchdown scramble, and then the one after that's is going to be an 18-yard scramble. But Jay, what do you see here from this 21-yard touchdown run?
Well, what do you see here? I mean, he's a big kid. He's a great
Yep.
athlete. Obviously, his dad and his whole family is obviously come from athletes. But here, where he's able to do it right here, and then he set it up right there. That's the
Yeah.
whole dead leg, and so he has enough speed and sense to when to do it. Right, like, he knows he's going to run it right here.
Mm-hmm.
So what he did was just set up. He really didn't even need the running back to block. He set the block up for himself. So if you watch this right here, it's a different type of body energy and language as he versus when he was throwing in the first three plays that we showed before. He's coming here. He already knows right now, man-to-man defense. It's a really good time to run. Why does he know that? Because of his experience, right? And even if
Mm-hmm.
they're playing a match zone, it's still kind of a man-to-man. He read the defender, nobody's open, cut it up, and then now he's able to be an athlete right here. And he knows when he's smart enough to run and he knows how to protect himself, and he knows where his bread is buttered. But he's a great athlete, and so what you can compare it to is sometimes quarterbacks that are really good athletes that are kind of like Patrick Mahomes or even like C.J. Stroud, where you see it, and I'm not comparing them to them because those guys are at the highest level
Right.
being great, but they're known as pocket passers, right? And they're known for their arm strength and accuracy and being a really good passer. But when they tuck it and run, they're just as effective. And one thing about him, he knows what really hurts a defense, and that's getting that first down on a crucial third down or a long third down or a second and medium. And this shows you right here, he's able to take it to the house. And when he's running, he knows how to read blocks and set up blocks. And so he's a legitimate run threat as well.
And here's the second scramble highlight that we will break down. 18 yards for a touchdown right here. And again, I just really love the pocket presence. He knows, I think, the right time when to take off and if
Right.
he's going to take off. So what do you see here from him?
Well, he knows right here, they're four-man rush, kind of a blitz out of a three-man front, and then they brought an extra one. But what he knows is man-to-man defense. So where's the defenders? Their backs to him, right? And he knew to take his drop and not do it right away so the defenders don't have a chance to react. And so everybody's back is to him. And look at the timing. 1, 2, 3, tuck it, right? Read it. And then next thing you know, he's coming right behind those defenders, and a good job by the receiver there to block. And so he knew what to expect right here. And so, when you think about what we're seeing here in these plays is the ability to anticipate. And that's a part of playing a quarterback they don't put a lot of star rankings on, right? And that's the timing. One of the best plays of Jeff Sims this year, it was his 59-yard touchdown against Colorado, right?
Yep.
And same type of deal. 5 wides or 5 receivers, no backs, right? Because you can dictate the coverage and you can dictate if you're going to run or pass. If it's not there early, then you want to try to run late. And that's what you pick the running lanes based on you're able to read the rush. He's doing this right now. He probably has one quick read. He's looking in the middle. You can see his head right here. Nobody's open, but he's able to read the rush as well, right? And so he's reading the rush, and then he's getting up in the pocket, right? And then right now he knows he's gone, and he's running right up the back of all the defenders. And so once he gets past that 20-yard line, he knows not only do I got a first down, but if he can pick up one block, it's a touchdown. And I know he's running in slow motion right now, but he's a lot faster. I can guarantee if you ask a lot of those defenders, he's a lot faster than what you would think because you're so worried about him throwing the ball. His athletic ability, not only sneaks up on you, but he blows right past you. I mean, he's a good runner right there. He'll get faster, and he's a definitely big, strong kid as well.
Absolutely. And so one more example of Dylan Raiola. This is going to be a 35-yard pitch and catch to the receiver. And we talked about his escapability, the way he maneuvers around in the pocket. It's really good. But again, it's not always to run. It's with an eye down the field and trying to find a teammate. And this is a perfect example here.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think the most dangerous quarterbacks, you see it with Aaron Rodgers, are the ability to have pocket presence, step up in the pocket, and then also deliver the ball with accuracy, right? This is off channel right here, right? This is off schedule. You step up, move, right? There's 2 guys, and then he got his shoulders squared up, going to his left, which is the hardest thing to do for a right-handed quarterback, to throw it on accuracy. And then on top of it, he knew where the guys would be, right? Look at this. They're bringing it like kind of a delayed blitz, it looked like right here, 27 or a spy. And you're getting a little bit of pass rush here. And then he steps up into the pocket, right? Avoids one, right? And now normally high school guys, would rush. Now you got a delayed blitzer there from 27, which is a spy technique. He's able to escape out to his left and has the wherewithal to know where the line of scrimmage is, but then have his shoulder square enough to really deliver the ball on a deep ball on a 35-yard pass with accuracy right here. And so, what people don't understand is Dylan, before he obviously solely, started to concentrate on football, was a really good pitching prospect and a good pitcher. So how does that, help football? He's able to deliver the ball at different arm angles with accuracy because that's what you do in baseball. So this is no different than, turning 2, picking up a ball as a pitcher, trying to, kind of half center field turn, get it to, third base or whatever he needs to do. But his escapability and pocket awareness is really, really good, right? And this is what you like to see right here. He gets the ball, and right here to have awareness, steps up, right? Avoids the second guy, and he knows when he's going to the short side of the field that you're not going to be able to really get any yards as far as running. So his safety net is just running out of bounds. But what he does there is, make something out of nothing, and it's awful accurate, right? So a lot of people can do it. Then you see an overthrown pass or one that's actually maybe sometimes thrown to the middle of the field. Then you get a kind of a interception. But what he did was threw it to where only his receiver could catch it, and because he knew that the defender would have his back to him. So if you look at this right here, I'm sure the cornerback probably started to look in the backfield. Next thing you know, he's in a chase position, and Dylan sees that. So and this is not by luck, right? This is by training and playing the quarterback position at a way higher level than normal high school kids, and that's why he's a 5-star recruit and the #1 quarterback, because he's able to keep his shoulders square under duress, and that where he can make more efficient and informative decisions on where to throw it, how to throw it, and to throw it accuracy. And so, when you think about potential, what he could do, obviously he's done everything he needs to do in high school. Now he's got to, get here and reset and then get entrenched into this offense that Marcus Satterfield is probably going to try to implement in a bigger way this year, right? Where you think of, as of right now, as it stands, Chuba Purdy, Dylan Raiola, and Daniel Kalen, right? So you got to think 3 guys that can do all the same things, right? Where you can, they can run when they have to, right? You've seen it where, they can bust a 25-yard run if you're playing man-to-man defense and set up, they all can. But then they all can throw the ball off schedule with accuracy, right? And you got 2 young guys that haven't done it at a college level. What I'm saying is the pocket presence, ability to do things outside of the pocket and make smarter decisions. And so, I think the quarterback room just improved drastically, not only with Daniel Kalen, but, 2 times with Dylan Raiola, because you're getting 2 players, right? You're getting the physical player, right? You're getting the guy that we just watched, but then also from you're getting the mental player as well. So what he'll do is he'll challenge people to, do more, to be better. And when you bring in a recruit like this, then that ups the ante a little bit. That means everybody needs to work harder and be better, because he's going to come in and give you everything he's got. And he knows what real work is. He knows what the difference between participating, playing, and competing. And so, he's going to come in here and try to compete.
A lot of people are going to be wondering, what should the expectation be for Dylan Raiola as a true freshman at Nebraska? So Jay, just what's your opinion on that? What should people expect, or what is too much? What is too little? Like what should we expect with Dylan Raiola?
I mean, the expectations needs to be that he needs to come in, work hard, be a good teammate, be a good leader, and compete his butt off. And when he plays, just play as well as he can. Play hard. Again, be a good teammate, learn from your mistakes, and then accentuate what you do in a positive. I think the worst thing people can do is say, okay, we got a quarterback now, everything's solved. Like I call that the chia pet mentality, right? It's pour water on something and you think you got a full-grown forest, where, you got to nurture this thing. You got to surround him with not only just, everybody at Nebraska is a good athlete, right? So you got to get some guys that are good athletes, that are here for the right reasons, that have the right mindset, which is along the line of him. Along the line of his mindset. So more guys you get into the locker room that do that on all 3 phases, offense, defense, special teams, is going to make him better. So you got to get some competitive guys in here that want to be the best, and that could be either fostered on the team that they have now, and then obviously guys in the future that they bring in. But he's a big piece of it. But I think the worst thing that you can do is have expectations of the final versions of a Tommy Frazier, the final versions of a Eric Crouch, the final versions of a Steve Taylor, or a Turner Gill. I'm thinking of guys that are really passers of the final versions of a Zach Taylor. Those guys were different players when they came in and versus when he left. And so if you're thinking about it, you want to see consistent improvement, and that's the biggest thing that you want. And then he'll grow as everybody else grows. And so he's a big piece of the puzzle, but he's not the only piece of the puzzle. And everybody else needs to, play their role, including Dylan. He's got a lot to prove. He's going to have a big target on him. And he's been in this situation, and he knows the work will handle itself, and then the football will definitely handle itself. So I think all he needs to do is just come in and do what he's done. Work hard, be a good teammate, learn, listen, and compete. And that's all you can expect. And then everything else will take care of itself. The athletic ability, everybody in that quarterback room will take over, but in particular Dylan Raiola, like as he starts to grow up, it'll be good experience for him, and I think he'll do well.
What a time to be a Husker football fan. So Dylan Raiola, the number 2 overall commit in the class of 2024, the top rated quarterback, commits to Matt Rhule and company at Nebraska, and he is a Nebraska Cornhusker. What a time to be alive. All right,
Oh
for
yeah.
Jay Foreman, I'm Steve Marik, and that was a Blackshirt Breakdown, Dylan Raiola style. We'll catch y'all later.